The story captivated the nation. A young mother, out for a jog, vanishes into thin air. Sherri Papini, a name seared into our collective memory, became synonymous with vulnerability, with the random acts of cruelty that can shatter ordinary lives. The image of her bruised and emaciated body, found on a highway on Thanksgiving Day, was etched into our minds. We breathed a collective sigh of relief. She had returned. A miracle. Except it wasn't a miracle. It was a lie. Papini's disappearance, the frantic search, the national headlines, all of it was a meticulously crafted hoax. The woman who had become a symbol of resilience had orchestrated her own abduction. The truth, when it finally emerged, was like a punch to the gut, leaving a trail of bewildered anger and a profound sense of betrayal. How could someone do this? Why would she do this? The answers, as they often are in such cases, are complex. They delve into the dark recesses of human psychology, into the desperate need for attention, and the lengths some will go to satisfy it. But beyond the individual motives, the Papini case raises unsettling questions about our collective susceptibility to such narratives, about our willingness to believe, even in the face of mounting evidence to the contrary. From the beginning, whispers of doubt swirled around Papini's disappearance, inconsistencies in her story, details that didn't quite add up. But the narrative was so powerful, so emotionally resonant, that skepticism was often drowned out by a wave of public sympathy. After all, who would invent such a horrific ordeal? As time went on, the whispers grew louder. Forensic evidence began to contradict Papini's account. Witnesses came forward, casting doubt on her claims. The investigation, initially focused on finding her abductors, slowly turned inward towards Papini herself. The revelation that Papini had fabricated the entire ordeal sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. Disbelief mixed with anger. People felt cheated, manipulated. The woman they had rallied behind, had prayed for, had betrayed their trust in the most profound way. For Papini's family, the revelation of her deception was a devastating blow. Her husband Keith, who had stood by her side, who had pleaded for her safe return, was left reeling. The image of him clutching their 2 young children during a press conference, begging for his wife's abductors to let her come home, was seared into the public consciousness. To learn that the woman he loved had orchestrated the whole thing, that the fear and anguish he had experienced was entirely unnecessary, was a cruelty beyond measure. But the betrayal extended beyond her husband. Her children, too young to fully comprehend the situation, were nonetheless impacted by the turmoil and uncertainty that engulfed their family. The emotional toll on them, the long-term consequences of their mother's actions, are still unfolding. The Papini case is a stark reminder that the consequences of such hoaxes extend far beyond the perpetrator. They leave a trail of emotional wreckage in their wake, shattering families and eroding trust within communities. The small town of Redding, California, where Papini lived, was deeply shaken by the revelation of her hoax. This was a community that had come together in the face of tragedy, that had organized search parties, held vigils, and offered unwavering support to the Papini family. To learn that their compassion and concern had been so cynically exploited was a bitter pill to swallow. The Papini case left an indelible mark on Redding, sowing seeds of doubt and suspicion. It became a cautionary tale, a reminder that things are not always as they seem, that even in the face of seemingly irrefutable evidence, deception can lurk beneath the surface. The erosion of trust extends beyond Redding. Papini's actions have wider societal implications, casting a long shadow over genuine victims of abduction and violence. Her case fuels a dangerous narrative, providing ammunition to those who would dismiss the claims of real victims, who would rather believe in elaborate conspiracies than in the uncomfortable reality of human cruelty.